Hi there and welcome to my channel. Today's project is for the VIcki Boutin design team, and today I'm going to show you a layout that is all about my baby boy, and it's going to change throughout the process. So let me get started. I'm actually going to start this layout with a foundation paper that I had already pre-yeso, and I just added my yeso using a brayer just to the center of the page. I keep a few of the foundation papers with yeso because you never know when I'm going to use it. So whenever I pull a yeso in one, I just yeso a few in a row. So what I want to create on this is I wanted to add a mixed media background. I wanted something, I'm going to say very what's the word, kind of festive, because if you see the picture, that's my son a couple years ago when we went to Ecuador to visit, and he's a teenager. He's gonna be 20 this year, and he did not want to be seen with his little cousins because I don't know, sometimes it's just, you know, that he's a boy. So I took a few pictures of him sucking out at the edge of the playground. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm just gonna start adding some mixed media. So I want something really festive, just to, like, you know, break the gloominess of the picture in a way. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just gonna use the VIcki Boutin art crayons. I love them, and all I'm doing is I'm scribbling a little bit of the blue and a little bit of the teal art crayons onto a piece of acrylic that I have. I'm gonna dilute them with some water, and then you're gonna see that I'm gonna actually use my brayer to apply it just to the center of the page. And you're gonna see that my idea at the beginning is, like I said, I wanted something really cheery, and I want something, not gonna say that messy, because it's not gonna be really messy. It's gonna look messy right now, but I'm actually gonna confine it in a bit. So all I'm doing right now is, remember how I created that mixture of the art crayon and I diluted it with water? So I'm just rolling my brayer on it just to pick up some of the pigment, and then I'm gonna roll it onto the paper. And because I have that yeso on the background, the paint kind of rolls nicely and is like kind of flowing on the paper. So while that is like, and it's gonna take a little bit longer to dry than usual paint, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take advantage of it and create a little bit of drips along the way. I don't think you see that in the camera. I think by mistake I cut it, but I just added a few drips, and that's all I did. I set it aside to dry, and then I'm gonna bring in I'm using actually Distress archival ink. I just wanted something that was waterproof, that's gonna dry really fast, so I'm using Lagoon in this case, Distress archival ink, sorry, just to stamp some of the circles, the sunburst. And then I'm gonna come in with the little dashes, and this stamp, the first one, the circles, is from the All the Good Things collection. I think it's already been discontinued, and so is this one. This is the dashes from the Field Notes collection. I love them, some of my favorite stamps. And all I'm using for the little dashes is actually archival ink again, but I'm using, I think it's Faded Jeans. I wanted something a little bit darker because I want to show on the background. I'm just gonna layer some stamping. Once I have that, I want to kind of break the monotony of the blue, so I'm going to bring a little bit of yellow, and this is, if I'm not mistaken, the yellow that I'm going to use. I'm not so sure, but it's one of the yellows. It's a Distress archival ink too, and I'm just going to stamp a few little details in between some of the blue stamping, and it's just going to cut the yellow on from the teal, and I just like the color combination for a boy. Now to keep working on this, like I said, remember, I want something very cheery, but I'm gonna say kind of very symmetrical, very confined. So my idea is I'm gonna use this stencil. Is actually from the Wildflower and Honey collection, and I love it. It has all these sayings or words and encouragement, and one of the things that I wanted to cover is one line that says, "Oh hey girl." So you're gonna see that I'm actually using painter's tape to mask it and glue it, attach it, not glue it. I'm just attaching it to my page, so now I can add my some glaze through it and create a little bit of texture. So what I'm using for this, I'm using iridescent glaze. You're gonna see that I've divided in two different piles. One is gonna stay just as iridescent glaze, and the other one I'm gonna add a little bit of blueberry pie powdered pigment, sorry. It's gonna give me a really light blue, and you're gonna see that when I put it on my stencil, I'm gonna add little places of white and little places of that blue mixture, sorry. And then I'm just gonna use my Oh my god, my wedge, just to kind of run it through my the page, and it's gonna create kind of a marble look. It's gonna be a really light application, kind of tone on tone with the background. And then I'm gonna carefully peel out this stencil, and then what you don't see in the camera is that I added another 2 lines right above the line remember, and for that I just let it dry, and then I went back and did the same thing. Once I have that in place, I like the way it looks, but I don't want to have that much white. I think I need to bring some color to this layout just to make the picture stand out, and I really like what the background looks like, so I want to make it the center of this layout. So what I'm going to do is I'm just pulling some of the papers. I still have a few papers that are complete, and I really like the paper, the B side of the, I think it's in bloom paper. That's the one, the black and white paper with all the beautiful florals, and I really love that teal in the background, and that's going to make the background that I created stand out, and also the picture. So you're gonna see that I'm gonna use that, but I want something that's gonna layer behind this background that I created just to make it stand out. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna distress the edges a little bit using my pair of scissors, and then when I cut this paper, is called Sweet Honey, I believe, is the one that has that black and white painted stripe on the A side, and the B side these yellow circles, kind of a tone and tone pattern. And remember how I stamped some of the dashes with yellow, so I'm gonna pick up the yellow in the papers. So all I did is I cut 1.5 inches of that. I cut 4 inches. I'm gonna use 2 of them on the yellow side and 2 of them on the black and white side, and that's just gonna kind of elongate my the horizontal line in a way, make it a little bit wider, but at the same time it's gonna frame that background that I created. And like I said, my idea was to use the entire thing white. You guys know that I love white backgrounds, but once I had it, I really wanted all the application that I created, you know, with the texture, with the mixed media in the background, to be kind of the focal point of this layer. So I trimmed it down, and I'm gonna glue it onto this piece of the paper. This paper, I think it's called Bloom, the paper, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna glue it right onto kind of the center towards the right of the paper. Once I have that in place, and I apologize because I think I just was taping it, didn't realize that the battery had died on the camera. My apologies. Sometimes you just keep you know, recording without realizing that things are happening sometimes. So what I did is, while you know, when I have this in places, I went and brought some texture paste and the flat brush, and all I did is kind of applied a little haze, a little bit, kind of haze the area where I'm gonna put the picture, and kind of create a soft diagonal. I'm just gonna kind of make sure that I put the places where everything is gonna go. So all I'm doing right now is using a little bit of yeso. This is yeso that I'm diluting, and all I'm gonna do is add some splatters to the areas where I added the haze of the texture paste, and that's just gonna make you're gonna see how the white stands out. It's gonna kind of pair up with the background that I created and not create that big of a contrast. So that's the reason why I did that. So you're gonna see that I sprinkle a little bit of the diluted yeso, and then I'm gonna kind of squish the bristles of the brush that I'm using just to create those big droplets on my paper. And that's about it. That's my background. I'm gonna set it aside to dry completely, and while that is drying, I'm gonna start working on the layers for the picture. And I want to keep it very simple. Like I said before, there's a picture of my son sucking out because he just had one of those days. He's a teenager, you know. So all I'm gonna do is kind of stay in the tones of greens and blues. So I've went into the 6x8 paper. You can see that I'm, like, you know, cutting little pieces of paper because I don't have that much paper left. And I'm gonna back the picture with it. This is the one with the script, and then I'm gonna glue it right on the top left side of the layout. I remember how I added the white texture paste behind the kind of hazy area, and it looked a little bit weird, but once you put the picture, it covers a lot of that, so it looks fine now. All I'm adding is I really love that, like, little file tab look that the piece of ephemera is gonna lend to the top left corner of the picture. And I'm just gonna add stickers. All of these are gonna come from the Wildflower and Honey collection. I'm gonna try to stay within the gold, the black, the navy, a little bit of teal, all the colors that I'm using on this background. I'm bringing the gold just to match the yellow. You're gonna see that I'm gonna use a lot of rectangular pieces just because I have all those stray lines on the background and on the layers that I'm using. One thing that I'm gonna try to keep is like, you know, play with it, some stars and pops of gold, just because I wanna make it, like I said, I just want to create a little bit of movement. And I think by having those little circles and those little pops of gold, it's just gonna create a little bit of movement. What gave me a hard time was the title, because I knew I wanted to put it. Remember how I added the little haze part of the texture paste? I added another one at the bottom right corner of the layer, and that's where I'm gonna put my title. Unfortunately, I'm running out of the puffy stickers, and they're really big. I didn't want to take that much space on my paper, so I used the word "this" from the puffy stickers, and I went into my stash and found these little gold alphas that I'm also running out. They're from Pink Paisley, and I just added this boy. And after that, you're gonna see that I'm just gonna add small elements all through the page. One of the things that I'm gonna bring is in the chipboard stickers, there's this little dashes or crosses that have that holographic gold that I'm using, so I'm just gonna add a few of them throughout the clusters just to help me with repetition. What you don't see in the camera is that I add my lines of journal right on, like, to the left of my title, and I'm actually gonna move some of the dashes right there and add a little sticker just to make sure that it all, like, you know, matches and all repeats and everything is cohesive. And that's about it. I love how this turned out. I actually really love how this turned out. I love the straight lines. I love the picture. I love the background. I really enjoyed putting this together. It didn't take that long, and it was, like I said, you saw me working. I totally forgot the camera was running, so my apologies. There's a little part missing of the video, but I hope you try it. As always, if you have any questions on how this came together, do not hesitate to contact me. I would love to help you. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you soon. Don't forget to check out Vicki's stuff. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.